Te ao manuia now. We're catching up right now with the one and only Foreign Affairs Minister Valvasa Manaia Winston Peters. From coalition tensions to big policy debates, we'll get his take on this week's biggest political stories. Talofa Minister, how are you this morning? Thank you for your time.
Good morning, and we're very well. Pleased to be on your show.
Great to have you back. Now, starting off with a bang, no pun intended, your party's fireworks prohibition of sale to the public bill has generated strong reaction. What's the core principle behind this? Tell us about, is it safety or control?
It's safety. Look, every year, and it happened last night, fires everywhere, down at the Dunedin, 100-metre fire down at the beach, all happening because of the lack of proper control and use of fireworks. And actually, like New Zealanders are sick of it. They've seen too many animals terrorised all the way to Christmas, actually, from this time on, all the way to Christmas, celebrating some 400-year-old event that has nothing to do with our country whatsoever. And Guy Fawkes is only a pretense. It's a marketing ploy. And sadly, it's costing the taxpayers a fortune in ACC claims, in emergency fire call-outs, in the number of animals who have been put down and destroyed, particularly horses, who, when they've cut themselves in the fence, panicking as a result of fireworks. And I've seen it personally. And frankly, I think that a mass majority of New Zealanders are saying for appropriately approved fireworks displays, that's fine. But this sale onto the market and use as people please has got to stop. I've got no doubts that there's a mass majority of New Zealanders who want this to happen.
What's your response to critics saying that it's a nanny state behaviour that contradicts New Zealand First freedom rhetoric? What's your response to them?
Yes, they would say that, wouldn't they? Well, it's not nanny state when you say, okay, yeah, you got liberty, right, but liberty's not licensed. So you've got these skyrockets and you're misusing them, you're applying them everywhere else. You're not applying any sense of regulation or control or public concern in your use of them. You're endangering people, causing enormous multi-million-dollar claims to be made by ACC, and we, the taxpayer, are paying for it. What do I say to that? That's not in any state to ask for a thing called responsibility and personal responsibility. So liberty is not license. Liberty and freedom comes with a thing called responsibility, and they're not exercising responsibility. That's my answer to that.
And now on other news, Minister, this week.
I just say, some person even suggested I should put earmuffs, put muffs on the animals' ears when this happens. Now, that's the kind of ridiculous statement that people will make, as though it's some sort of answer.
Noted. Earmuffs on animals. Well, Minister, just on another news this week with Te Pāti Māori, what's your thoughts on the ongoing tensions on with the party? Are they fit to govern?
It's a total circus with a Ferris wheel where people are falling out of the chairs.
Fair statement to say. And what do you make of if Labour does have to choose them as a partner should they have to enter coalition government next year? What does that mean for the country?
Well, there's no longer a left bloc. What you got is a bloc of lefties, and they're all arguing amongst each other, scrapping and fighting. Their vehemence inside the Te Pāti Māori towards each other is the same vehemence they've applied against the rest of us. And when you call them up and take them on and have them on, they don't like it. They can't take it. They're full of criticism, but they can't hack it, and they can't hack the parliamentary system either, because they thought they could come down here and disregard everything here that has been going since the first Maori arrived here in 1868. And for all that time, those Maori have respected the system and changed it as well. But along comes Te Pāti Māori, the new brand, not the first Te Pāti Māori, not Sharples or Tātia Naturia. No, this new brand has got absolute contempt for the whole system. And now they've got contempt for each other. So they can't last, in my view. And Labour's problem is that's what they got to deal with.
And Minister, just in another news, back to the Pacific region, you are the first New Zealand minister to have met with the newly elected Samoa's Prime Minister, Laoli. Tell us how that went and conversations that took place.
Look, I heard that he was here for hospital treatment, so as a matter of courtesy, I thought I should see if I could come along and say hello and see how he is. It just met, that was that sort of discussion. So we had a good chat about life. How shall I say it? Not, to put it this way, matters I want to disclose, We just talked about the things that was of interest to him, and sort of pointed to the fact that when he gets back, then we will pick up our program and go forward in our uh, association and excellent relationship with Samoa.
Now, we understand that the Prime Minister's meeting with Laoli today, not an official meeting, but a well-being check, if you might say. But Samoa's Prime Minister did commit to addressing the issue of visa-free travel for Pacific citizens. He's backing former National MP Anai's petition. What do you make of that? Do you think that if visa-free travel for Pacific nationals could come anytime soon, seeing that it's been backed by the Samoa's Prime Minister?
Yeah, look, I've spoken to Arthur myself about this for some considerable time, because it's how shall I say, it's not just visa free. It's if someone dies and they want to go and come and see this person before their death or after their death in New Zealand, then these delays make it impossible. And so I've got a good grasp of what Arthur's talking about, and I've said to him, we'll work on it as hard as we can. But I've got another sympathy for the fact that the system and the delays are just unacceptable. And I also made the point that when I came back as Minister of Foreign Affairs, I found that in Samoa we had one official doing 1 hour sort of a day on the job, or 1 hour a week. This is not good enough, and so all those things are being addressed now in consultation with the incoming Samoan government. But again, we have to wait till that gets established,
Now, Minister, your party played a crucial part in the passing of the citizenship bill, Te Ano Tuono's citizenship bill. Could we see perhaps the same work being led by New Zealand First when it comes to this issue raised by Anai? Can you guarantee that there'll be more work done between you and the former National MP?
There certainly will be more work done, but I've got to be very careful. Can I just say this to you? When the Prime Minister gets back to Samoa and they get established, we want to consult with them, because in the end, it'll have an effect on the Samoan population, and we do not want to take steps where the Samoan government is not happy with what we're doing. It goes from being progressive to regressive in terms of their own population retention. So we'll do our best to get a fairer, more immediate deal. But I mean, we're only about a few weeks away from receiving that petition as we speak.
Noted. And Minister, just on the latest unemployment figures, now Pacific unemployment is now sitting at around twice the national rate. Critics say that this shows the government's growing for growth plan is leaving Pacific workers behind. What's the response to that criticism?
You know, the compelling evidence of this matter is the Treasury report given to Grant Robinson, forecasting what the unemployment rate would be in 2025 at this time of the year. That report was made when Grant Robinson was the finance minister, because the effect of massive borrowing and the over excessive shutdown of COVID, which means we're still coming out of the COVID mangle that we were left in. Other economies came out years ago, not us. We have been struggling to come out of it as we speak. All that's in the forecast that Grant Robinson got. And then Labor saying, oh, it's all your fault. Now, if you're asking me, could we have done better? I would say to you, yes, we could have done better, and we should do better, and we've got to keep on striving to do better. But I know where the blame lies, in the massive borrowing, borrow and hope, and no idea what they were doing, and the number of productivity jobs that were lost in our economy from people working at home. They still haven't gone back to work. All these things are showing up big time. And so turning this sort of ship around, not so easy. But we've got to do better, I admit that.
Noted. And just before we wrap up, Minister, is there any update on discussions with the Cook Islands following, I guess, what happened earlier this year?
Look, the officials are still dealing with that. We've made it very, very clear about our special relationship between the people of New Zealand and the people of the Cook Islands. Governments come and go, ministers come and go, but the relationship that we're standing by constitutionally is to ensure it endures. And it endures because, and it must endure because there's a certain prescription that we've agreed to. Helen Clark, as you recall, signed up to this with Prime Minister Moate in 2001. And we're asking for the thing to be honoured in the way that we were signed up to. So that's where we are. And hopefully we'll get it sorted out sooner or later.
Is New Zealand providing any assistance to Tonga as it approaches its general elections later this month?
Well, let me tell you, I don't know, but I can't recall us being asked to provide any assistance. Of course, we'd be happy to. It's not very long away from now, but as I say, at this point in time, nothing's come up my desk saying they want help. But if they want help in terms of assistance, backup, in terms of proper surveillance of voting proceeding, what have you, as we have in many other areas, we'll be very happy to help.
Whawhetai lava, Minister, just before we wrap up, any final messages?
You said me any final messages? Well, frankly, summer's coming. That's the best thing at the moment. I just been overseas, and I tell you, it was cold and freezing, and the delays was unbelievable. But we did get on the agenda in the Nordic countries, their ability and their willingness to assist us with the Pacific Resilience funding. Now that's big news for the Pacific, and so we've got a lot of work to do. But we've set off overseas to get more partners to help us with 1/3 of the world's surface. But where there's so many small populations, all thousands of kilometers apart, but all suffering from the same potential future problem. So we're, as I say, getting more friends and more partners, and I'm delighted to say they were enthusiastic about the idea.
Whawhetai tele lava, Vauwasa Manaia, Winston Peters, thank you so much for your time this morning. Very enjoyed our talanoa.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Now, if you missed any part of that